Can you imagine though if you like kept every single person in your life that has ever been there? It would be impossible. You couldn't juggle it. What, your friends from first grade, second grade, third grade, and then in college and high school and every relationship you've ever had. You just can't hold on to everybody. Monster came at a time when I was feeling like I was losing a lot of people, and it felt like a lot of different people in a lot of different directions, and it felt like I was doing something inherently bad or I did something wrong. And there comes a point if you're having problems with people where you kind of have to ask yourself, is it me? Am I the reason? Because sometimes it's hard to see things from another person's perspective. So that's just that self-analysis. Laying in the bed that I made all alone. Guess I'm not surprised, honestly. Obviously, nobody else is here with me in this bed, but it's also supposed to be a play on words when people say you made your bed, not laying it. I made this bed, I'm laying it all by myself, I made it by myself, nobody else helped me here. Praying in my head that you stayed, and I hope you'll miss me eventually. I'm the type of person who, if I love you and I care about you and you're a part of my life, I never want to lose you, no matter what. The fact of the matter is, in life, naturally, people just fall out, and sometimes it's not a fight. Sometimes there's something that happened, you just kind of grow apart, and that's okay. But because of who I am, it's really hard for me to accept that. So whenever that does happen in my head, I'm just like, I hope you miss me. I hope you miss me. It's not a relationship. It's not just a friendship. It's not just family. It's any situation where you lose someone you care about. People wanna talk when I'm not around to hear. Really, they don't know what I'm made of. So that line, people wanna talk when I'm not around to hear, means a few things. One is obviously like gossip and rumors, but a lot of it too is when people can't just confront you about a problem. Sometimes it's easier for people to just cut you out instead of say like, hey, I didn't really like this, or I don't really like when you do this. They're all talking amongst each other and not to you. The really they don't know what I'm made of also means two things. It means you don't know what I got, like I'm tougher than you think, but it also was supposed to be a deeper meaning on DNA. And that's sort of like a deeper history that I never get into online, and I will someday, but just like a little hint for my followers of what's to come. People keep on walking so far away from here. Clearly I'm the one they're afraid of. The thing with the line, clearly I'm the one they're afraid of, is there is no reason that you can pick out. It's just sort of like, clearly it's me. Whether it is or isn't, it's the feeling of blaming yourself for everything. But it's hard not to feel that way when people either like, ghost you or cut you out or whatever it is, you start to blame yourself. One after another, they've always come and gone. I feel like ever since I was a child, whether it's like family or groups of friends or being bullied or relationships, it feels like it's a revolving door. At the time when I was writing this song, it didn't feel like that's a normal part of life. And thankfully, since then, I've realized that is a part of life. And sometimes relationships just don't work out because they don't work out. And it's not your fault and it's not my fault. It's both of us together that just doesn't work. So what if I'm the monster that's been here all along? They're dropping like flies whenever I'm around. So used to goodbyes, there's comfort in the sound. Maybe I'm the monster that's been here all along. I think the imagery for this song really, because of where I was feeling at the time, was like a very scared little girl and like very vulnerable and small. And when you think about what is scary to a small child, it's a monster under your bed. And you see a lot of that imagery throughout the rest of the song. Bend until you break and you can't take anymore. I'm not worth the trouble, it seems. I would say you're wrong, but I've been here before. You won't be the last one to leave. You won't be the last one to leave is definitely sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's just a negative mindset of being used to a certain thing, being used to goodbyes, not believing that you're worth sticking around for. At some point, because there is comfort in goodbyes, you might force that upon the situation too. You're safe here, no need to run and hide underneath your cover now. So one way to look at this is kind of talking to yourself and saying to yourself, like, it's okay, it's fine. But then another is talking to the person who's afraid of you. But then another way is talking to the person who's actually hurting you. And the word cover now isn't just like your blanket. Obviously, that's the imagery I chose to use, but it's also the cover as in the cover up. A lot of times people will paint you to be somebody you're not to fit their narrative, and you don't need to hide under that. You can just be honest. Don't be scared, there's nothing left inside since you ate my heart out. It's really begging the listener to stay in my life and give me a chance and trust me. Like, I'm not that scary. Like, I promise, even if I look scary, I'm just this scared little vulnerable thing. I don't even have a heart. I'm so sad.